V.4 write equations in standard forms using properties. This is going to be pretty much the same exact stuff. Yeah, same exact stuff until we get to the end of that one. So we'll have to make do on that. Okay, so here we are. We have the same information that the graphs are giving us, but we don't have a graph. So if we're looking for standard form of circle with radius 9 and centered at the origin, then what would the equation be? If it's centered at the origin, it would be 0, 0. So it would be x squared plus y squared, and 9 squared is 81. X doesn't have is at 0, so it's x squared plus y squared, 1 plus what? Y plus 1 squared equals 9. X minus 7 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 144. The equation of standard form of the circle whose center is at -1, -6, and 5. So x plus 1 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals 25. Passing. Okay. Write this equation in standard form for the circle passing through 8, 8 and centered at the origin. So we have the center is at 0, 0, but what does this 8, 8 mean? If our center's at 0, 0 and it passes through 8, 8, then that circle is going to look like that, basically. Now, did we really need to know that? Probably not. I was just trying to give you a little bit of extra information. We're going to deal with the 8, 8 in just a second. So we have the center, we need the radius. If we have those two things, then we know the standard form of the circle. So let's write in what we have right now. We know it's 0, 0, so we know it's x squared plus y squared because it's at 0, 0, but we don't know the radius. We don't have r squared. But if we know that it's going through this point, then it gives me an x and a y. So if I put 8 into the x and I put 8 into the y and I still don't have r squared, 8 squared is 64. 8 squared is 64. And that's going to be 128. So r squared is 128. What did I need? I needed r squared. Yeah, it'd be really nice to know what r is, but I didn't need to know r. I needed to know r squared, and I have that. So the answer to this problem is x squared plus y squared equals 128. Write the equation in standard form for the circle passing through. So this is another x and y centered at the origin. So we're still at 0, 0. So we're going to do this one exactly like we just got finished doing the other one. Since it's at 0, 0, it's going to be x squared plus y squared. But we don't know the radius. But I do know x is -3 and 2 for a point that's on the circle. So if I put -3 in parentheses because it's negative, plus 2 equals r squared. -3 times -3 is 9, plus 2 times 2 is 4, equals r squared. 9 plus 4 is 13, and 13 is r squared. Well, whoop, whoop. I needed r squared because that's r squared, and r squared is 13. So I'm going to put 13 right into that r squared. So the answer to this problem is x squared plus y squared equals 13. And that's a 13, even though you cannot read it. Okay. Write the equation in standard form for the circle with center and radius. So they're giving us this information that we actually needed. So x plus 2 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals the radius squared. So if I square 1, I get 1. Write the equation in standard form for the circle passing through. So I'm going to use this as my x and my y, centered at the origin. So origin is at 0, 0. So x squared plus y squared equals radius squared. I am going to put this in for r, or x. So 0 squared. Y is going to be 3 over 2. Squared equals r squared. 0 squared is 0. 3 over 2 squared is 9 over 4 equals r squared. 0 plus 9 over 4 is 9 over 4 equals r squared, and r squared is what I shouldn't have circled that. Undo. Can I undo? Yeah. Okay, so I needed r squared right here. So the answer is going to be x squared plus y squared equals, what's our r squared? 9 over 4. Write the equation in standard form for the circle passing through 3 over 2, negative 2, centered at the origin. So 3 over 2 squared plus negative 2 squared. If you're going to rely on your calculator and you have a negative, you better be able to put it in parentheses. 3 over 2 times 3 over 2 is 9 over 4. Plus negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Equals r squared. That would be 1625 over 4. Is r squared. So our answer is x squared plus y squared equals 25 over 4. Write the equation of standard form for the circle with a diameter with endpoints 0, 6, and 0, negative 6. Now this one may be a little bit kind of obvious. If you are at 0, 6, you are here. If you're at 0, negative 6, you are here. And if this is the diameter, then what do we know? That this right here is the center, because the center is in half of the diameter, right? So where would that be? That's why I said this is kind of obvious, because if you're at 0, 6, and 0, negative 6, what's in the middle? 0, 0, right? But let's pretend that we don't know that. And so if it gives me the diameter endpoints, then to find the center, we are going to do midpoint formula. And you learn this in geometry, where it was x1 plus x2 over 2. y1 plus y2 over 2. So 0 plus 0 over 2, 6 plus negative 6 over 2, which ends up being 0, 0. So remember, if we're writing the equation in standard form for a circle, we need a center and we need a radius. To find the center, when they give us the diameter, we're going to use the midpoint, and it's at 0, 0. So the center is at 0, 0, and I still need a radius. Now how am I going to find the radius? We're going to use the distance formula because they gave us the diameter. Distance for diameter. Again, this should be fairly obvious. If this is at 6, this is at -6, then it's 12. But if we don't know that, we're going to use the distance formula. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So our x's are 0 minus 0, -6 minus 6, 0 plus 144 is 144, and the square root of 144 is 12. Now that's the distance for the diameter because it said it was the diameter. If the diameter is 12, then what's the radius? 6. So the radius is 6. So what's the equation? X squared plus y squared equals 36 because it's 0, 0, and it's 6.